Video games are the ultimate escape from real life, and we could definitely use a few of those right now. So what better way to avoid going outside than, I guess, going outside? Here are the best open world video games in our humble opinion. Okay, you knew this one was coming, but can you really blame me? There's a reason this was Nintendo's only game to win Game of the Year so far. And there's a reason why every open world game gets compared to Breath of the Wild. This game presented a level of open-ended game design that only 2 entries on this list even attempted to match. You can go anywhere and you can do anything, with the only obstacle in your way being how you choose to overcome it. Sure, you can absolutely fight your way through Bokoblin Encampment, but you could also choose to stealth around and backstab everybody in their sleep. Or you could engineer a rock slide from a half-mile up nearby mountain. Speaking of mountains, you can climb on anything, so technically you can climb around any challenge, shoving food and potions in your mouth the entire time. If you know what you're doing, you can speedrun the game to fight Calamity Ganon in 15 minutes. This game, above all others, perfectly encapsulates what Shigeru Miyamoto was trying to achieve when he made the first Legend of Zelda. He loved adventuring in the woods and climbing on trees, and what did he do when he got his hands on the first playable demo? He spent hours climbing trees. I did too, and I'm gonna keep doing that until the sequel drops. Superheroes in open world games go together like orphans and dead parents. Arkham Asylum graced our consoles in 2009, delivering what's still considered to be the perfect Batman video game. Somehow, Rocksteady managed to pump out a sequel in 2 years that managed to outdo it in every single way. The groundbreaking free-flow combat was sped up, the boss fights were epic and varied, and being able to glide around the whole map added so much more variety to how you could approach stealth encounters. The map might seem minuscule in a post-Breath of the Wild world, but every square inch is carefully crafted to make it seem like it's a natural extension of the city of Gotham. Unlike a lot of middling open-world titles you'll find today, none of the side quests feel like they're copy and pasted content. Except maybe the Riddler trophies, but even those have some very fun puzzles attached to them. To top it off, Arkham City's story has the best ending out of the entire series, with the death of the Joker being the peak of Mark Hamill's run as the character. This game really does make you feel like you're the Dark Knight himself. Next is Horizon Forbidden West. Fair warning, you're gonna see a lot of sequels on this list. The new IP from Guerrilla Games presented players with a gorgeous post-apocalypse to fight hordes of robot dinosaurs with a bow and arrow alongside a new PlayStation icon with Aloy. The series could only go up from here, and it absolutely did with 2022's Horizon Forbidden West. With lusher locations and more menacing machines, Forbidden West somehow had players longing for a real-life robot apocalypse. They even spruced up the melee combat, which was one of the weaknesses of the original. Now, instead of blindly swinging your bow around, you can pull off special attacks that have Kingdom Hearts level of animations. You can even explore underwater. Just let us fight a Mecha Kraken in the next one and you got a perfect game right there. If you also want to fight a Mecha Kraken, subscribe to our channel because we have complete control over that. Yakuza is one of the best series that you probably never played. It's got pretty much everything you'd want in a game. A world bursting with life worth exploring, tons of unique mini-games and side quests, gripping stories that will make you laugh and cry, and the most insanely goofy and satisfying brawler combat you'll ever play. While the prequel, Yakuza 0, is the perfect entry point for the series, if you want a standalone experience that'll give you everything the series has to offer, Fist of the North Star Lost Paradise has you covered. If you've ever had a fantasy of living in the world of Mad Max as an ultra-buff Bruce Lee, this game is for you. Everything that makes Yakuza great is here, except now you can make the bad guy's head explode with a simple slap. While the city of Eden only spans the length of a few blocks, there's an entire wasteland to explore with an upgradable dune buggy, and that's barely tied to the main story. It's just a huge open world that you can cruise around in when you get bored of managing a host club or mixing drinks. While every entry on this list features a deliberately designed world by teams of developers, Minecraft's world builds itself, leaving the journey entirely in the hands of the player. It's like diving into an endless bucket of Legos with the only limit of the world being your own imagination. The way Minecraft has evolved since its beta release in 2010 is one of the greatest success stories in gaming history. Every update of adding new realms, recipes, and creatures make it feel like a living, breathing world that you can build a Renaissance sculpture in. We've reached the point where Minecraft has evolved past just being a game. It's even used as a teaching tool in schools now. Specifically, Minecraft is pretty good at helping you learn math. Man, kids these days don't know how good they have it. All of the games on this list are absolutely incredible, but with the exception of Minecraft, they all share one problem. They are so damn long. If you want to 100% complete Elden Ring, you need to set aside over 130 hours of your life to finish it. A short hike manages to fit an entire journey into just over 2 hours of gameplay, and feels just as lovingly crafted as any other entry on this list. Think Animal Crossing if it was open world adventure for Nintendo DS. The visuals are nostalgically crusty, the music is soothing, and I kinda wish every character in this game was my neighbor. Take Claire on a walk through Hawk Peak Provincial Park, glide around doing loops in the air, or just catch up with the locals camping in the woods. Like all great indie games, it's secretly about overcoming depression, so take the journey at your own pace, it knows just when to end. Spider-Man has been the face of the superhero game genre ever since 2004 with the best movie licensed game of all time. Every Spider-Man game since then has tried to recapture that lightning in a bottle, and Insomniac managed to do so in 2018 with Marvel's Spider-Man. Perfectly polished swinging mechanics in a version of New York that looks better than real life would be enough on its own to make it one of the best open world games of all time. Simply swinging around the Big Apple while saving your favorite hot dog stand from criminals is a dream we all wish we could live out. But what if I told you you can do that in between one of the best Spider-Man stories ever told? This rendition of the wall crawler is a fan favorite for a good reason. He has the adorable social awkwardness of Tobey Maguire, that cocky sass of Andrew Garfield, and the heart of Tom Holland. This game really makes you feel like Spider-Man, but making a mission out of getting evicted lets the player feel like Peter Parker. It's the complete package. And somehow Insomniac managed to pump out a spectacular spin-off 2 years later in Spider-Man Miles Morales, letting players cut loose with Miles' bioelectric conduction and self-camouflage opened up new angles for combat and stealth. It's gonna be hard for some to go back to Peter's gadget-based gameplay when the sequel swings around later this year. Next up is Elden Ring. This game won Game of the Year in 2022 for good reason. From Software single-handedly changed the game industry with the original release of Dark Souls, popularizing deliberate, weighty combat that instills an unbridled sensation of challenge and dread to the player. A full trilogy of Dark Souls, one Bloodborne and one Sekiro later, Miyazaki and friends have given us an odyssey that very few games can match. The lands between are a beautiful nightmare I wish I could live in, managing to terrify and mystify me at every single turn. It also feels like there's a new enemy waiting to completely eviscerate me at every step I take. This is a game where you'll face off against fire-breathing dragons, giants, cosmic horrors beyond comprehension, but either way, this game has a horse that can double jump, so yeah, it's on the list. Open world games are a dime a dozen nowadays, so you've got to stand out while you can. The Xenoblade series has consistently boasted some of the most imaginative worlds, not just in gaming, but in all fiction. The first game took place across 2 massive titans in an endless sea, the second game upping the ante to 6 across a heavenly sea of clouds. Xenoblade Chronicles 3 literally smashes the worlds of 1 and 2 together to create a truly awe-inspiring location that serves as the backdrop for one of the most epic and impactful RPG stories in recent memory. 2 nations of child soldiers caught in an endless war team up to break the cycle and fight an aristocratic force of pure nihilism. So how do you top a universe-spanning epic about the human spirit overcoming nihilism? Well, you tell the most timeless tale in its purest form, the Western. But this ain't Red Dead. We've had the cowboy, but before that, we had the samurai. And Ghost of Tsushima is one of the best samurai tales you could ever experience. Based on the true events of the Mongol invasion on the island of Tsushima, Jin Sakai must retake control of the island and rebuild what's left of his clan. Along the journey, he'll meet friends new and old, discover the traditions of his clan are built on holding his people back, and ultimately carving out his own path in life. It's a story you've definitely heard before, but it's told so effectively through sharp writing, excellent performances, and masterful presentation. The entire game is framed like an Akira Kurosawa film, and the world that the artist at Sucker Punch created is simply immaculate. The immense range of colors, the immersive sound design, and the way every plant animates in the wind gives your journey across Tsushima a sense of sublime purpose none other can match. And the wind does way more than just look cool. Whenever you get a new mission, the wind blows in that direction. There's no mini-map because you don't really need one. Combine that with excellent stealth and crisp melee combat, and you have a game that's better than any Assassin's Creed, to be frank. And to top it all off, Japan loves this game so much, the two lead developers, Nate Fox and Jason Connell, are tourism ambassadors to the country now. Talk about breaking down barriers. Now, I'm sure everybody on the internet will completely 100% agree with this subjective list. But on the off chance you don't, what would you have changed? Definitely let us know down in the comments, and make sure to like and subscribe for more of us here at Screen Rant. Have a good one.